Hello everybody. Welcome to the COTW474 after party. You just heard an episode of house music. Hope you all enjoyed it. As always, we love putting these together every week, so that was a really fun one. Today on the after party, we're going to be doing a little fun questionnaire with Ellis here, and we'll be bringing him on in just a second. So if you have questions for him, think about them, because I'll ask you at the end. We've got a few prepared. But the game's going to work very, very simply, right? I'm going to ask Ellis a question. He's going to get a second to answer, and none of you have any reason to know these answers. But if you do, put them in chat. I want to see what you're thinking. And if I like your answer more than his, I'm going to give chat a point. Otherwise, Ellis gets the point, and then it's Ellis versus chat here. We'll see how it all goes. So without further ado, please welcome to the show, Ellis. How are you doing? So good to have you on here.
What's up, man? Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's pretty late. It's like 10 o'clock here.
Ooh. Yeah, we are on very different sides of the world here.
Yeah, we are. I've got my blue light glasses on, which is a new focus.
Got mine right here. I have to wear them all the time.
I didn't know they existed until about a month ago.
Yeah, I think I've been wearing them for a few years now, and I can't go without them. They're just so helpful.
It really does help.
Cool. Well, before we get into this, everybody that was in the stream just heard your new song with Bose and Sarah DeWarren. Do you wanna talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so it's probably coming up to this time last year. I hopped in the studio with Bose for the first time. We've been wanting to work together for ages, and we hopped in the studio in Amsterdam at ADE, and they brought this top line from Sarah DeWarren. So we knuckled down on that one. We got like a little idea together, and we were all like super stoked about it. It started out quite slow, actually. It was like 115 BPM.
Really?
Yeah. It was like a typical like future funk type song. And then we kind of sat with it and we were like, nah, this has got to be a house track. So we just sped it up by like 10 BPM. We finished it. I mean, we only got the master back about a month ago, so it's been a long process, but I'm just stoked to finally have a song out with those guys.
I bet. I'm happy with how it turned out. I hope you are too, having your name on it.
Yeah, I'm loving it. I'm just excited to put music out again, especially with Monster Cat, and we've been waiting to put this song out for a while, but because there's three of us, it's kind of hard like aligning it with everyone's schedules, you know.
Absolutely. You don't want to put out a song and then next week the triple collab comes out and it doesn't line up very well.
All politics aside, it should be good, and I'm excited to just do stuff like that again.
I'm glad to hear it. So we brought you on today, obviously, because the track's coming out soon. Want to hear a little bit about that, but we also just want to know some random questions. So, like I said at the beginning here, I'm going to ask you the question. Take a second to think about the answer. If I like your answer, I'll give you the point. If I like chat's answer more, they're going to get the point. We're going to see who wins at the end of this.
All right, let's do it.
So, first question here. What was the first electronic track that inspired you to pursue a career in EDM?
Oh, that's a great question, because I used to listen to dubstep in like 2010, but I didn't start producing until maybe 2014, 2015. Probably the one that actually got me to like open up a DAW and crack down was probably Clarity by Zed, I think.
That's a very good one. I'm right there with you. That was one of my first ones that I heard. I was like, we got to get into this.
I heard it on the radio, actually. I think I was in the bath or something. I just remember it like came on. I was like, what is this? And then like, you know, fall into the world of EDM, and I was always just like, Zed always just kills it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Cool. Well, I'm going to give you the point for that one because that is just the right answer, objectively.
I mean, what are other people saying? Can we see?
Yeah. So some people are saying Pegboard Nerds disconnected. Another Beethoven got them into it, which is, I mean, that's a pretty good answer. All right.
You said, right?
What'd you say?
You said it had to be EDM though, right?
I said it had to be EDM, but like Beethoven's pretty good. I'm still giving you the point. Don't worry about it. Second one. Name an underrated artist or track in the EDM scene that you believe deserves more recognition.
Give me a sec to think. There's so many great producers out there. I've always said there's a guy called Ozrin. I don't know if anyone in the chat knows his music, but he's this Swedish guy. He's been a good mate of mine for the past 8 years or so, but his music is just incredible and deserves so much more recognition than it gets, in my opinion.
Nice. Well, you heard it here first. Go check him out in chat. How do you spell that so we can put it out there and get people to go listen?
Can I type it in?
Absolutely.
To read the chat rules first. There you go.
There it is. All right, so go check him out. Ellis sponsored. I'm gonna say it. It's fine. All right, so that is a good one. Another. If you could time travel to any musical era, past or future, where and when would you go?
And live in it and like be there.
Yeah. Experience it, produce music, or I guess like in the olden days, not really produce, but create and write it. Where would you go?
I would definitely go to late 90s, early 2000s, French music, like Daft Punk, Justice, Alan Brax, like all of that stuff. I'd love to be a part of that scene.
Oh yeah, that was a golden era.
Oh, it was so good, and it was like, it was just a budding like era of tech, like when technology was changing rapidly, and they just kept up with it. It was just so good.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible how they made some of those sounds back then with just like the bare minimum at the time.
Yeah, I mean they were literally. I mean, I was sampling something earlier, and I was like, oh my god, this is time consuming. I was like, these guys used to have to do it on hardware, and there was no way you could really like go in and fine tune something. It was very difficult to do that.
Yeah, you just had to get it right recording, and that's what it was.
Yeah, so I don't know how they did it, but yeah, definitely that era.
It's crazy that those tracks still carry through today and still hold up.
I know they've got some sort of like nostalgia to them because they literally all just sample like old disco and soul records. So I think it has that to it. But then it's it's 20 years old now. Like, it's just like pure nostalgia to me.
It's great music. Great music. I'm seeing another answer in chat from Thunder. This you would go to Cyberpunk 2077. That's a game. Can you go to a game? Is that possible?
I've never played that.
I haven't either, but I've heard interesting things about it. It seems like a cool game. Awesome. Well, a little bit of a toss-up for you. If you could have any superpower, what would it be? And there is a right answer to this. I want to make that very clear.
There is a right answer. Wow.
I think there is.
Okay. I think. Okay. God, I don't know. I think it would have to be telekinesis.
Okay. All right.
Because I imagine that there's more you could do with your mind if you had that power than just say flying, for example. I imagine you can probably do some mad stuff if you have telekinesis.
So one of our fellow employees here, Elle, is saying teleportation, and unfortunately, I do have to agree with her. I think teleportation is like the one to go for, but telekinesis is also an interesting side that you bring up.
So why teleportation? Why does that reign champion for you?
For me, I just like the thought of being able to, like, in an instant, be wherever I want to be.
Do you know what though? I quite like traveling. That's the only thing. mean, sometimes I wish I could go somewhere quicker, but I like driving. I don't mind getting the train. Don't mind getting on flights. It builds up the excitement.
You like the journey. That makes sense.
I like the journey.
That's fair. That's a good way to appreciate life. I like it. If you had the day to spend with anyone in history, who would it be, and what would you do with that person?
Oh my god. Okay. Anyone in history? God. I mean, this is very, very recent history, but I'd probably have to go and spend the day with Avicii.
Ooh. Yeah.
And honestly, I would just like to be around him and just follow him around. Just like, I don't know, go to a show with him, or go, I don't know, just chat with him, just sit down with him.
He seemed to have, from what I could pick up, a pretty incredible mind and just a gift with music, and that is a great answer. And
from what I've heard from other people, just an extremely lovely and humble person.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Which I feel like that goes overlooked a lot of the time with just anybody, unfortunately.
Especially with somebody that had his level of stardom. It would be so interesting to just sit down with somebody who was still so grounded. Yeah, just fascinating. I'd love to. I mean, I'm looking in the chat now. People say, yeah, Keith Flint from The Prodigy, definitely. Who would you say?
I would have to think about that one a little harder. I'm seeing in chat somebody put Bill Nye. I do have to say that'd be a fun one. I grew up with Bill Nye in my classroom, so yeah, that'd be a fun one.
Hell yeah.
Ooh, if I had to pick somebody. Part of me wants to say Beethoven, and I know that that's a bit of a cop-out answer, but I'd be really curious to just see, like, at the time, with his majority of his ears being just deaf and not being able to really hear the music, but knowing everything and how it all fit together, I think that's fascinating. I love to learn from him.
Oh, God, yeah, it would be fascinating. Yeah, it'd be a hard conversation, but...
Oh, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like he, in one way or another, shaped where we are currently with music in this day and age, and it just continues to come through.
Yeah,
give Beethoven some CDJs.
I mean, didn't we all want to see that?
Oh, that'd be magical. All right,
steer him and see what he does with it.
What can he make? This one you might have an answer for. What's your favorite book, and what do you love about it?
I've read. I mean, I have two. Can I give you two answers?
Absolutely.
So, like, sort of, like a storybook. I'd say The Kite Runner was one of my favourites. Like, my mum forced me to read it, and I was like, it just sounded so boring. And as soon as I opened it and started reading it, I was like, great. I really enjoyed it and just didn't get bored once. Incredible story. And then at the minute, I'm sort of like going between, I have periods of reading and periods of not, and I'm sort of going back to this book by Rick Rubin. And it's but it's just full of the most wise. There you go. The Creative Act.
Okay.
By Rick Rubin. And it's just full of the philosophy of creativity and sort of delving more into the spirituality of it as well.
Nice.
And it's also just a good handbook for when you're feeling like you need some more creativity, you can just go to it, and there's just some really wise words there, and really good quotes to back up.
That's great. Obviously. Are you more a nonfiction or fiction reader?
I usually I like to learn things, to be honest with you. So, yeah, I'd probably go with those. I much prefer to. I I have to, for like a proper like storybook, I really have to like, it has to be good and it has to get me in straight away. Otherwise, I just chuck it away. If I'm learning something, I'm just like, okay. Like I have so many like typical self-help books, you know, like the ones that are like how to like manage time and like how to do this, how to do that, how to be a businessman, how to do this. I love those sort of books.
Very good, very good. All right, I've got a bit of a weird one for you, and I have to let you know we've asked every single person on this show this question. Mm-hmm. Play along. Are you bald?
Am I bald?
Uh-huh.
No.
Great. I had to ask it. People are asking in chat. It seems to be a running joke for some reason.
Is it because I'm wearing a hat?
I mean, I got called out for being bald. I have hair. You have hair.
What's going on? Is it like a weird like meme, isn't it? What's going on?
Yeah, I feel like Nins got off to a bad start. He was wearing a hat and it looked like he had no hair. This might just be a dig on Dan. Dan, we love you. If you're listening to this, heart. Bald is a state of mind.
Is it? Is there an explanation here, guys? I don't understand.
Let's see. Who wants to explain where this joke came from? Somebody put it in chat while we ask the next question. Follow up to the book. Do you have a favorite movie, and what do you love about it?
Well, so many great films. That's such a hard question. I love like psychological thriller movies.
Nice.
I watched one the other day. It's a Stanley Kubrick movie called. What's it called again? It's called like. Something.
Back to the internet.
Eyes Wide Shut. That was so good. It's such a weird movie. I'd say that's not my recent favourite, but then I'll say my all-time favourite, which is completely opposite, is Monsters Inc.
Really? I would not have expected that.
I know. It's just one of those movies, like you stick it on and you just feel happy going.
It is. They did something special with that one.
I feel like it came out the year I was born as well or something like that. It's probably why I love it. But yeah, great movie.
Indeed. All right, so chat, unfortunately, you guys are going to have to start picking up the pace here. Ellis has had 5 solid answers, all very, very well thought out. You're at 1. Pick up the pace. I know you're better than this.
Come on, guys.
All right. What is a goal or dream that you have that you haven't yet had the opportunity to pursue?
Acting.
Really?
I've never ever really gone into it. I did it a little bit when I was a kid. But it's one of those things, just being creative, I've always wanted to do it, but I've just never found the time, or I guess especially when I was younger, I didn't have the confidence to do that. But I think at some point I'd love to just do a bit of like mild acting in some like my own music videos or something.
That'd be cool. I'm curious, what's the draw for you in that?
I don't know. When I was younger, I always just wanted to be famous. That was it. Like, and I didn't care what it was. I wanted to be a singer, I wanted to be in a boy band, I wanted to be an actor at one point. But then I was like, I actually did want to be an actor then when I looked into it. And then I just didn't. I didn't have any mates that were into it, or it was one of those things, you know, where it would have been hard to get into, and I would have had to really like throw myself into the deep end as a kid because there was just no. I don't know. So yeah, I think at some point I'd love to just try it and just see what it's like.
I'd be curious to see how it goes. Wishing you the best of luck. I mean, hey, you got a song coming up. You could put a music video out for it. Yeah. Self-produce it.
Self-produce it. All right. Fun. I've actually always wanted to do that. Like, a lot of my mates are also like videographers, and they make a lot of videos and stuff. And we could definitely do something cool together. That could be fun.
Funny enough, that is the same thing with me. All of my friends are on the film side. I'm the only one in the music, so it works well together.
It really does. It actually does. Like. I put something up on Instagram like a couple of weeks ago, and I literally went to see my mates in Brighton. And one of them, Sam, he's been like a co-writer. Like he's one of my best mates, but he's co-written like a lot of my songs with me. And I said, let's just make a song in 20 minutes and see what happens. And then I turned around and the other guy's just got a camera. He made this like really sick reel out of it, but it was completely like unplanned. Like that's what happens when you've got like videographer mates. They just get the cameras out. You get some good content without even asking.
It's always the best. Always the best. All right, so this might be a tough one to answer for you. What is the story or inspiration behind one of your favorite songs that you've produced?
I think.
While Ellis thinks, the song playing in the background right now is the new one. Go listen to it. It bops.
Yeah. I think, right, I remember The Taste, which was released with you guys.
Oh yeah.
I had like the instrumental and it was all a bit mental, and I loved the chords because I was sat in my bedroom and there was this song by Air playing, and I was like, I really want to like, and it had this like cool little motif going on in the background. So I sort of wrote this little motif and then played these chords underneath it, and that's how we got the instrumental. And then I watched this movie with Sam, my old housemate, called Requiem for a Dream, which is this really like kind of messed up, dark, mind-bending film about kind of this like substance abuse and addiction in any form, really. And we just the morning after, we were kind of sitting down with this instrumental, and we had the idea to write a song about addiction in any form, though. It doesn't have to be drugs, it doesn't have to be alcohol, it can be addiction to anything. So that's the story behind The Taste.
Fascinating.
And like, the taste so far from pure, and that's where we got that lyric from.
That's great. That's great. If you were to host a dinner party and could invite 3 people, you only get 3, living or deceased, who would they be and why?
I'd invite. It's a really hard question. It really is. I would invite Dougie Pointer, he's a bass player from a band, like a British band called McFly. I remember seeing him on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here when I was a kid, and I was always like, I just want to be mates with that guy. I'd have him. I'd have my mate Kenny, because he's just my mate from back home, but he's just the most interesting personality, and he has the most. You can challenge him on any opinion, and he will never change his. An incredible thing to witness. And I would probably put. I'd put Boris Johnson into the mix.
All right.
Just so we could have a few words with him. That combination would be absolutely hilarious.
I can just imagine your friend who never backs down just talking to Boris, like, what's up?
You've got like this chill bass player in the background, Dougie Pointer. Yeah.
Oh, that is great.
That's a hard question. I'd probably change my answer if I thought on it a little bit more.
Makes sense.
So I'm curious to see what other people said here.
Funny enough, Charlie Thunkman put myself, Dan, and Angela, who have been the 3 hosts of Call of the Wild. That's very sweet. Thank you.
Very nice.
We have Paul Walker, Chester Bennington, and Jeremy Renner from Thunder Music. It's a very interesting grouping you got there.
Yeah.
All right.
Please, bottle of water. Is that what bottle of water.
You're making Chrissy very happy right now.
I don't want to leave the country.
All right. Hey, right back at you. One last for you, and then we'll start to wrap this up. If you could change one thing about the world, what would it be?
Peace. I mean, it's a massive thing to ask for, isn't it? But no violence.
Yeah.
If I could, I had the power to. Yeah, of course, world peace. But
one of these days we'll get there. One of these days. We have to, right?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, Ellis, thank you so much for joining. I'm gonna post this in the chat right now. Go pre-save IRL. Do we know when the release date is? I don't know if it's been announced yet. I don't want to spoil the fun.
It hasn't been publicly announced. Are we allowed to say? I don't know.
You can't. I mean, you're the one that made it. I don't see why you couldn't.
26th of October.
There you go.
So, a couple of weeks, right? Next week?
Yeah, right around the corner. Right around the corner.
So yeah, it's very soon. And yeah, we'll be teasing and announcing some more bits about it soon. So stay tuned.
Fantastic. Well,
having me on, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to have you on here. Last minute shameless plug, anything you want, go for it.
Woo. Yeah. God. Shameless plugs. IRL. I mean, yeah, and then if you're going to be at ADE, I'm playing 2 shows there, which I'm going to post properly on my feed so everyone's got the dates which you can keep asking. ADE is next week, and I'll be playing both shows on the Thursday. So if you're in Amsterdam then drop me a message on IG and we'll get you down to the show.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, ADE should be very fun this year, and glad to see that you're back playing.
Hell yeah, man. It's good to be back on the deck. I looked at these in like a year. So it's always fun to like sit down with a fresh batch of people to try and work out some cool transitions.
I bet. I have to ask, any new tracks that she'll be playing out for the first time, or just showing off the catalog?
A lot.
Nice.
Most of the set is just, I'm trying to make sure that I still play my old stuff. Just play like all this new stuff. But I'm also like, I haven't even announced this yet, but it's just cool to say, like, I'm kind of working on a bit of a side project at the same time, which I'm going to test some of those tracks out live as well, which could be cool.
Very nice. Looking forward to that. Well, wish you the best of luck at ADE. Super excited for IRL to come out, and I'm sure we'll talk soon. But otherwise, have a great Wednesday. It was great having you on.
You too, bro. Thank you for having me.
Have a good one. All right, and so just like that, we're coming to the close of this episode. Some housekeeping notes. Episode 3 of the Mix Contest is airing this Friday, right here, right where you're listening to right now, or not right now, right here, at 11 a.m. Pacific time. So be sure to show up for that. There's 4 DJs remaining, all competing for the opening slot at Home Base Music Festival. That was a mouthful. And unfortunately, I'm going to be taking a little trip next week, so you won't be able to see this lovely face next week. But we will be back on the 26th, 25th, 26th, whatever that Wednesday is. We'll be back. I'll just be gone for 1 week. Don't worry, you won't miss me that much. And we'll be having a good time and just playing around with some Halloween stuff. So we'll see what happens. Otherwise, if you have any questions, always be sure to hit us up on socials at MonsterCat. Hit us up in the Discord. I hang out in there. Nins, who's in chat, he hangs out in there a lot. Come say hi. It's always a good time. But yeah, next week, Trap episode. You got a little teaser of it last week on the after party, and you get to hear it in full next week. Look forward to that. I hope you all enjoy it. But otherwise, thank you all for showing up. It really is a fun time to hang out with y'all here every Wednesday. And I will see you in 2 weeks. But don't miss the Trap episode next week. All right, bye. Go home. It's done. The stream's done. Thanks for coming. We'll see you soon. Don't be sad that I'm not here next week. We'll be back. Don't worry about it. It'll be fine. Thanks for coming. I do need a necklace. Yeah, that'd be cool. All right, cool. Have a good one. See ya later. Bye.